here today. One is Carl Hubner, back here in the yellow shirt. He is much improved since I met him. I remember playing him in a tournament, and he made some moves, and you could tell he was nervous too. And playing in a tournament can be very, very nerve-wracking. It really can. And Carl, you could just see he did really horrible in that tournament. Well, not even 2 years later, he's as good as I am, if not better. And then Con, he is here too. He is, 2 years into chess? Really, that I've known you?
Maybe 1 year, one
Oh
and
my
a
God,
half.
I'd say even worse because he's as good as I am now too. And that's just, when I first played him, I just mowed him over. And I used what? Well, some basic chess knowledge. Nothing elaborate. I was just using basic chess skills. What is basics? Well, if you take a look at the queen and the center of the board, as Larry and everybody else had said, you want to control the center, and everybody's like, why? Why control the center? Well, let's take a look at something. Look how Black's queen, how much it controls in the center, as opposed to if it was just here, it won't go there.
Queens don't belong in the corner.
Yeah. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Right? But compare the squares that she controls here versus here in the center. Here, these 4 squares here are the center. So I can go to either one of these 4, and you would just see. And let's use the knight, probably a better example. How is this going to help you beat your dad or the person you're playing? Because you're going to know these things when you're playing this person that, hey, if I get my pieces to the center, I control the center. If I just use basic chess principles and strategies, I'll have good chances. Because if my pieces get the good squares and the guy that I'm playing doesn't know these basic chess strategies, he might make a pawn move up here and a rook over, trying to get his rook up on his 3rd or 4th move, which we both in that game know. I would know, hey, he's trying to get his rook in the game at the opening of the game. Wrong idea, because these are minor pieces. Knights and bishops are minor. Rooks and queens are major pieces. So what I want to do is I want my minor pieces out first, and then my rooks will get connected after I castle. And once my rooks are connected, in other words, my king and rook are castled. This rook and this rook can actually touch each other or move to each other. Nothing is blocking them from each other. That's when you know your development's complete. Well, this knight, if we look where it can go, 8 different squares. You see all the squares, or you would like me to put pawns on the squares to represent where it can go? Let's take a look. I don't have to use a pawn. It can go there. It can go there. Where else can it go? Does anybody know chess notation? How many? Okay, maybe we'll learn something. You know where else? Give me a square.
A square can go on E3.
E3. What's he mean by E3? Well, if we look at the letters going across from left to right, and notice anything from left to right, we're going to call what?
Those are called,
Is this a rank or a file if you go left? Okay, very good. So you go from left to right is called a...
Wait, the numbers are the ranks.
Correct, a rank. So this is the first rank, the second rank, and so on. 3rd, 4th, 8th rank for white. Now for black, this would be black's first rank, second rank, and black's 8th rank. Going across, left to right are ranks. So this knight can go, he said E3. This is the square he's talking about. If we look at E, and then we look at the ranks, there's 3. So E3. So I would be able to go knight, capital N, to little e, and then the number 3. Knight E3. Very good. So but if we kept this pattern, you would see that this knight can amazingly go to all these squares where I'm putting pieces. Pretty cool, huh? What's the big deal with that? Anybody else want to guess a square before I fill the other 2 in? Give me a square. Where else can that knight go to? Using chess notation.
C7.
Absolutely correct. Look at that. C7. He sees it all. Yes. B6. Let's take a look. B and 6. Would that be a square that I could go to?
Yep.
All right. Absolutely correct. Look at that. Good job. Everybody's getting this pretty easy. Wow. Maybe I should teach an advanced class here. This is great. So look at the scope of it at night in the center. So that's why you heard everybody probably mention something about the center in their lecture is, hey, I'm going to control the center. Why? Your pieces have great access to come back to your camp and help defend or to launch out and attack from the center. All right, we're moving my knight over here. Tell me where that knight can go. How many squares?
2.
2? Who said 2? Wow, that's absurd. A knight needs to be out in the center of the board. Do you see my point? All right, give me the 2 squares.
F7
F7, correct. Somebody else?
and G6.
G6. Look there. G6. G all the way up and down, which is a file. 6 all the way over. A ring. File, ring. Get your pieces developed. Get them toward the center. Make good moves, and that'll help you in your games. You may not know all the theories or opening play or that this opening, you'll play it and you'll learn some of the ins and outs of it. More importantly is one day you're going to go, I've been playing this all along and it's called the Ruy Lopez or Spanish game as Larry was showing us. Oh wait, I've been playing this opening as black and it's called the Felidor? I didn't know that. Wow, I'm good. So why are these openings have names? Well, because they've been tried and tested. All the years and all our forefathers of chess, grandmasters that percolated all their knowledge down to us, showed us and proved to us that these openings are solid and work. And if you're not careful, it'll beat you pretty quick. All right, let's do a real quick game just to reinforce our chess knowledge now. Who wants to help me set these pieces up? Where did you go? Where did my friend? Come on.
Where'd Pranav go? There he is.
There you go. I was hoping you'd want to help. All right, you get the real high ones, I'll get the low ones because I can reach these.
I can't reach the high.
Oh.
All right, I'll get these. Anyone in contest, anything I do, just like chess. You make a good move, they make a good move. You want the queen? What do you want?
Red shows up better, doesn't it?
You don't have $20? Didn't your dad here? Did you get $20 from your dad? Huh? But he won't get the $20?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Even for a queen? Surely you want a queen. You're better at this than I am. Look at you. You just fly right through. My goodness.
No, those
Yeah, we were talking about getting developed, getting your pieces to the center, right? Now, if you develop a piece, should you try and move it again, or wait until you develop other pieces? Does anybody have any idea on that?
I can get more quick guys out there quicker if I don't move them more than once.
Normally I do.
Right, you don't want to develop a piece. Thank you for your help, young man. What's your name?
No.
Anand?
Pranav.
Pranav. Thank you. Woo! Hey, stay close. I might need your help. You can sit down if you'd like to. Yeah, that's fine. How about if you move the pieces for me? I'll move the black ones. And you can move the white ones or the red ones, right?
Or if you're close on
And you know what? I'm going to give this chess pin to you. It's a pen, and if you have an iPod, I bet you probably have an iPod or some kind of a tablet. This is also a pen over there. It's very cool. You're welcome. All right, so what happened here in this game, I played this Thursday night in my chess club, and I had a lot of fun with this game. And I played against another guy who rated about a 1600. So I played B4. You want to move that for me, or you want me to move it? B4 is a David 4. Pawns are allowed to move twice on their first move. You can opt to move just one time. Absolutely. And I moved my pawn, so I didn't say pawn to d4. I just said d4 because maybe I'm just too used to using notation that it's easy for me to do. My opponent played d5, and I'll try and get to the opening kind of quick. Knight f3.
Knight.
Mm-hmm. Very good. You know notation very well. Note, my first move was in the center. Remember these 4 squares are the center? Maybe we can step off to the side just a teeny bit so everybody can see. And then I developed the knight, which is lurking into the center and defending my center. Black replied with his d5, hitting my center and controlling a c4 square. I'm like, wow, you know what? I want to take his control away, but he has to move first, right? So he makes c5, hitting my center, attacking my center. Very wise. He wants a good move. Would this be a good move? Supporting my center? If he takes, I take, and then he's got an open c file. So I didn't want to do that. So I attack his center. c4. He plays knight c6. And I bring my knight out to c3. Mm-hmm. All right, how many pieces do I have developed? Does anybody know?
2.
2. Correct. How many does black have developed? 1. All right, who's winning so far in development? White. Yeah, I know they're red pieces. But this would be white and this is black. So I keep saying white. So yes, white is ahead in development. And he plays knight f6. Now we're equal in development. Wow. So I played bishop g5. I developed another piece. I have 3 pieces developed. And if he moves this pawn, then I'm pinning this knight to the queen. In other words, if he moves the knight, I can take his queen. So it's kind of a little tricky move. It's really just a developing move I thought I'd have fun with. Bruce is very tactical, and he makes another move where he, wait a minute, he just developed that knight and moved it again.
I just pinned it.
There's no big because the knight or the pawn has to move.
No, because this is blue, here's this.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, isn't it? What's he doing here? Well, he's attacking my bishop. Now, some would say that a bishop is better than a knight. And some, you can say, yes, this is true, because I can move my bishop from here all the way across the board in one move. How many moves would it take to move the knight here? See my point? So some say the bishop's better. But the only thing is this bishop can only control the dark squares. Note that the knights can go to either color square. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. If you have both bishops, and he only has 0 bishops, you might have a pretty good edge. It might be a good thing to remember to keep your bishop. Well, since he went against basic chess strategy, developed and moved his piece again in the opening twice, I thought, well, let's just keep trying to open my game. I play e3, it opens up my bishop. He takes my bishop.
Third move with the knight.
Third move of the night. Who said that?
Mr. Tempo.
Thank you, Larry.
Mr.
Third
Temple.
move of the night. Notice that he moved 3 times. This one night, he moved 3 times. Well, I'm forced to take. I mean, I'm not going to just go down material, so I move my knight twice in the opening. But now I have how many developed?
2.
And how many does black have?
1.
1. So I'm winning in development. But black had a strategy here. He develops in the center, simultaneously attacking my knight. I said, well, how clever is that? That's pretty clever. He's attacking my knight, my horse. Well, such is life. Well, hey, you know what? I have a pawn on the C file, which go up and down. And I want to capture the pawn in the middle. So I get me a pawn. I have a pawn. So now I'm up a pawn. But wait, I'll lose my knight, right? Well, he could take my knight, then I'll just take his. And then he'll have another pawn threatened. And he may have to take the time to pay back. So I like that position.
And they'd be double isolated then.
Mm.
Double isolated on the C file, which would really, really hamper the pawns. Yeah. Black decided, hey, you're attacking my knight. I'm going to move it, but simultaneously when I move this knight, I'm going to attack your pawn in the center. What a